What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Lando and C's show.
What up?
How you doing, man?
Still a little sore right now.
Me too. I'm sore. I'm really tired, and I need to drink more water. I know.
Oh man, I already finished another glass.
Um.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just got back from the basketball court. Speaking of basketball, this video is our brackets for the NCAA tournament before we get deep into the tournament, deep into the first round. I know yesterday we had some of like the first four matchups, a couple of the teams getting into the tournament, and then only to be playing against the number one seeds when they finally get in.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but um, we're gonna go ahead and do that. You have anything you want to say before we get started on it?
I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing right now, and going based off brief summaries on Yahoo's bracket. And this is a pool that I'm doing from my work group of people, friends, and shit like that. So we all have $35 in this thing, and I just hope that I have a good percentage and I win some money.
I haven't been watching all season. I started
At
watching
all.
college basketball like in the past month or so, I'd say. I've been watching. So I know a little bit, but not a ton. But I feel like I got a decent grasp on who might win. So let's go ahead and get that going. Put up the bracket here. This is me filling out the bracket. We can only show one at a time. Caesar's going to be doing one as well, and we will talk about our picks throughout. So we'll start in the West. The very first matchup in the West is Gonzaga versus Georgia State. And that's the 1 versus the 16. I don't think really anybody doesn't have Gonzaga winning that game. I'm just going to put them there right away.
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement too. I probably see well, obviously Gonzaga has the best player in Chet Holmgren right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's looking like he's gonna be the number one pick this year.
And Drew
And
Timmy is cool, bro, or Tim. I don't know how you say his
well,
name, but
all I know is that kid right now, but I haven't been watching a lot of college basketball. But Gonzaga definitely has the best player in the in college basketball right now, so they should be able to go and take down the 16th seed in Georgia State.
next up, the 8 seed versus the 9. I think this will be a great game. Boise State versus Memphis. And I'm gonna go with Memphis here. I just think Memphis is a better team, and I just wanna pick Memphis. I like Boise State's football team for their all blue field. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Memphis here. What about you, Suze?
Well, unfortunately, Imani Bates, he was a highly touted high school player coming out of his senior year. Hasn't lived up to his expectation as he's only averaging 10 points per game. He's not going to be in the tournament, but they have apparently a couple other players that are really good. And I'm just going with Memphis just because I know it's Penny Hardaway's team, and although however according to Yahoo the Broncos won the Mountain West regular season and tournament, so they're dancing really hot right now. So it really comes down to I don't know who plays their better game or who plays their own game and whatnot.
Yeah, that'll
But
be
I think I
college.
might go. I think I might go Boise State right now just because they're playing really hot and just coming out of that Mountain West with like that energy right now. It's going to be very important, especially for
Sounds good
confidence.
to me, man. Next up is UConn versus New Mexico State. No contest for me, man. UConn got the victory there. They're too strong of a team.
I think I'm going to go with the upset and go with New Mexico State.
All right. You do
Um,
that. I'll leave you alone doing that. And on the next one, I'm not going with the upset either. I'm picking Arkansas to move on past Vermont there.
so from what I've read on this one, I know they play a very good defense. Arkansas just have
Yep.
struggle shooting, but although Vermont doesn't necessarily rebound offensively very well, I'm pretty sure they're a good efficient shooting team. But they lead, yeah, you see they so what I'm reading is they lead the nation in defensive rebounding rate. The offensive rebounding doesn't measure up because Vermont simply doesn't miss many shots, owning the nation's fourth highest effective field goal percentage. And with that, I think what's going to kill the Arkansas is the fact that they struggled from 3-point land and just shooting versus a team that plays very efficient. And if they're obviously their defense keeps up too, and they miss a lot of shots, they're going to have to depend on offensive rebounds and getting another nice clean look. I don't think they'll do that against a team like Vermont. So I'm going to go with the upset.
All right,
Upset
cool.
city here.
You got Vermont. So next up, number 6, Bama, taking on either Rutgers or Notre Dame. That has not been decided yet.
Probably tonight.
Yeah, I think that'll be tonight.
For me, I'm going for Bama just because of the fact that they're not. I don't know who's going to come out of that.
Yeah, it's tough. I think if Rutgers comes out, they might have a shot beating Alabama. Notre Dame, I don't know. But yeah, it's tough. So I'll go with Bama, I guess. That one's tough. Next one for me is also a no contest, man. Texas Tech is a strong team. They're moving on. They're not going to get too much of a fight from the Montana State Bobcats or whatever they are.
I think I'm going to have to agree with that one.
Yeah. Next up, the 7 and the 10 seed games. That one, just like the 8 and the 9 seed, those are really obviously evenly matched teams. Michigan State versus Davidson. I've seen a little bit more from Davidson this year in games in recent history, and I know that they're a shooting team. They got like really small guards that love to shoot, and they just play tough defense. So I'm gonna go Davidson here. I'm gonna pick Davidson.
I think I'm gonna go with Davidson because they do have a transfer from Michigan State, and I wonder if he understands the defensive.
I like that
coaching status. He'll probably, if he has like I don't doubt it because being an NCAA Division I player is nothing to laugh about with IQ. I hope he just like uses that to his advantage and schemes and tells the coach how to scheme.
I like that idea.
He has the juice basically.
Rounding out the second round on the West is an easy one for me. Coach K's Duke moves on against Cal State Fullerton.
I want to go with Cal State Fullerton just because it's Cali, bro. But there's $35 on the line.
This is for money.
There's money on the line, so this is not gonna happen.
But I would not.
Know what?
We'll get to this later. Duke is not going to the finals.
I agree. I agree with you.
But yeah, to win the first game against Cal State, yeah, definitely go for them.
Wouldn't that be awesome though if a Cal State from LA
that'd be dope.
Mike Krzyzewski out of the tournament and said adios on his retirement.
It would be his last game, yeah. So real quick, do you want to finish
no, let's go to the other side. Let's go to the other side.
Let's go down to the East here. Baylor, easy. Baylor's such a strong team. They won the whole thing last year, and we'll get to that later. But they won the whole thing last year, and they're not stopping. I think
Baylor. We're at the East, you said, right?
Yeah, yep. Just right down below the West.
Yep. Yeah, of course, Baylor. Now this is an interesting one: North Carolina versus Marquette.
That's going to be a great game, man. But
I believe so too.
I will say UNC has been hot recently, man.
Yes.
They have been super hot. They beat Duke in Coach K's last home game. They're just hot right now. I feel like they're a little too hot for Marquette. So I'll take UNC to go on to beat Marquette there. What are you doing?
I think I'm gonna go with North Carolina too, just because, like you said, they're hot and they had a deep run in the ACC tournament. They lost to Duke, but obviously Duke came back with vengeance because of the fact of how they lost.
Yeah.
So, I think they'll handle Marquette, but I think it's going to be a very close game.
And we'll get to the winner of that ACC tournament here in a little bit. I got big hopes for that team. But first up, we have the number 5 St. Mary's versus Indiana. This will be a close game in my opinion. It's tough for me. I want to go St. Mary's just because higher seed, should be a better team. I don't know. Something is kind of drawing me towards Indiana. And if you know anything about March Madness brackets, I guess you should just go with your gut. So I guess I will. I'll do Indiana. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
I think I'm going Indiana just because they just lost in the WCC tournament to Gonzaga, and it
Mhm.
was probably an emotional loss for them. And they're coming up against a team that plays in a big conference in the Big Ten,
Right.
and they have a kid who is a standout, according to Yahoo, named Trace Jackson Davis, and he could have easily turned pro last year and decided to stick it out. I think he's not gonna want to go out this way before he goes pro. So I think
Yeah.
he's gonna at least want to stand out in one game, and I think it's gonna be this game.
But unfortunately, they're gonna have to meet UCLA in the next round.
Yes, I'm going there.
UCLA.
Yes, I don't. I
UCLA.
don't need to look at that.
This is the game I was talking about. You have your ACC title champions in Virginia Tech taking on University of Texas. I am a fan of UT growing up in the area, and I love UT. I hate betting against them just because I like the college, but I'm going to. I'm taking Virginia Tech because
Yeah,
they are one of the
on
hottest teams
fire,
in this
on
bracket right
fire.
now. In the whole tournament, they're one of the hottest teams right now. And Texas could be the team to stop it,
And
but
they had to go through Duke and North Carolina.
exactly. And I just think they're going to make. I think they're going to make a deep run in this tournament. And I think they'll
I
be
do
a
too.
nice Cinderella team. Purdue versus Yale, not too much of a contest for me. Haven't seen anything from Yale that I like, and I think Purdue's just too strong of a team. They're going to move on.
I don't know. I want to see what they say because these Ivy League teams always tend to put up a show.
That
Like
surprises
I
you
don't
so
know,
far. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like when I watch the tournaments, the Ivy League teams sometimes stand out.
Every once in a while.
But so according to this Yahoo brief message and whatnot, they're a very good defensive team, holding teams on to 30% shooting from perimeter, but they are one of the worst offensive teams, ranking like 223rd in the nation.
I don't think they can beat Purdue, man.
Yeah, I don't think so either, and that's why I might just go with Purdue. Although I hope for a really good game because
Yeah.
then the pressure's on.
Next one, along with Texas, Virginia Tech, and UNC Marquette, is going to be one of the best games on this side of the tournament for first round, at least. Murray State versus San Francisco. This is going to be such a cool game, I think. San Francisco is super hot right now. Murray State's a solid team. I think that the luck runs dry for San Francisco, though. I think Murray State's going to take this game.
I think so too.
Yeah. Next one is simple for me, man. I mean, we don't really need to talk too much about it. It'll be Kentucky moving on against St. Peter's.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now we'll go up to the South, where we kick things off with number 1 ranked Arizona taking on undecided between Wright State or Bryant. And it doesn't matter who makes it into that game. In my opinion, Arizona moves on easily. The one seeds in each of these brackets this year are just such strong teams, man. I mean, they always are, but they're so good this year. And I don't see any of them losing in the first round, at least. I'd be very surprised if they did. Next up will be a super fun game, in my opinion, TCU versus Seton Hall. TCU is a run and gun team. They love defense as well, if I'm not mistaken. Very defensive team. Not too up to date on Seton Hall, but I'm going to go TCU.
I think I'm going TCU too, just because reading briefly that message I get on this Yahoo thing.
Yeah.
They beat the likes of like Texas Tech, Kansas, and I forgot the last team. Yeah, but they have some really big. Okay, so Texas Tech, Texas, and Kansas. Those are really big wins.
Those are, yeah.
And they're coming off the semifinals of the tournament, so I think their style of play will overwhelm Seton Hall, but it's going to be a very close game.
It's unfortunate that they have to meet Arizona after they win. It's unfortunate. I'll say that. But anyway, University of Houston taking on UAB. I'm not too up to date on either of these teams. I will be honest with you.
I'm going with the upset.
Yeah, you just go for it.
Yes.
I'm not going to. I'm going to go Houston. I'm going to stick with Houston. Next up is Illinois versus Chattanooga. And Illinois moves on, in my opinion, to create a 5 and 4 seed matchup. You got UAB beating Houston, though.
Yes.
But yeah, I think Illinois beats Chattanooga. Illinois is a solid team every year. So, yeah.
Yep. I got. I got Illinois too.
Colorado State versus Michigan is going to be a toss-up, in my opinion. Man, it's glitching out. Going to be a toss-up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know. I think Colorado State's pretty hot right now, but it's also hard to bet against Michigan. They're always a solid team as well. And I guess Michigan would be the non-favor, so I'll do Michigan. I'll go with Michigan.
Yeah, I think I will too. And with this one, I don't know much about Tennessee.
Tennessee is
or Longwood.
Tennessee's a great team this year.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Tennessee's a very good team this year. So I got Tennessee moving on. OSU versus Loyola Chicago. OSU, I believe, is a solid team this year as well. So I'm going to go with them.
I'm going with Loyola Chicago just because I was in Chicago this week. And
that definitely does seem like a team or a matchup that could be kind of an upset result. I think Loyola Chicago could pull it out for sure. Next up, though, an upset that will not happen, in my opinion, is Villanova. They're going to move on for sure.
All right.
Cool. Let's move down to the Midwest. Once again, starting with the number 1 seed. It's cool, man. It's awesome that Texas Southern was able to make it in. And when you got other teams in Texas like A&M didn't even make it to the tournament and things like that, it's cool. But their luck runs dry definitely because they have to face the likes of Kansas. So Kansas moves on.
Yeah, easy.
Next up, San Diego State versus Creighton. Should be a solid matchup there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should we go California?
I'm going Cali.
Should we go Cali? Let's go Cali.
I feel like San Diego State is also very, very known to like have very deep, big runs into the tourney. I know it has nothing to do with, what happens today and what happens with this tournament, but
that's how it is with some of these brackets, man. I think the odds are 1 in 3 trillion or something that anybody would get a bracket right. So sometimes you just go with whatever draws you to that team.
And I think what draws me is that San Diego State, unlike in previous years, has played their best years in the tournament, and they've had deep runs. And the last time I remember Creighton having a deep run was when they had their Doug McDermott.
Mm-hmm. Right. Next up, Iowa versus Richmond. Man, I love that I think they're the only team that the Spiders is their mascot. It's like
I'm going with them just because I love Spider-Man.
Yeah, I want to go with them too, to be honest. I'll go with them too. I'll take Richmond for the upset against Iowa. Next up, I don't think will be an upset. Providence is a great team, so I'm going to move them on.
Now, this is an interesting matchup.
What do you got?
Opinion. I don't know too much about it, but just on the quick stats of points per game and points per allowed, there's not a significant difference in points per allowed, and it's only a half a point. As it's Iowa State only is allowed 63, whereas LSU allows 63.5.
Mm-hmm.
But LSU is a better offensive team. But I think this is going to be a closer game than we might think. I think Iowa State's going to be an upset.
Yeah, I'm going to do Iowa State as well. I'm going to take the upset on that easy. I think Iowa State's going to beat LSU. Next up, Wisconsin versus Colgate. I think Wisconsin easily moves on that one, though. Then we have USC versus the U.
Here, Landon, I'm going with the U
Yeah.
just because I got to see USC play, and they struggled against a Long Beach State team from time to time, and nothing really stood out to me on that team other than maybe Evan Mobley's brother. But even then, he wasn't like the most assertive player on the team. I just
And
think I
Miami
don't think
has
that
higher true shooting percentage as well at 57 over 53. Um, higher defensive efficiency as well. And
yeah. So I'm gonna go with the U just because I have not seen anything from USC that stood out. Other than the fact though they did beat UCLA this year, but that's a rival game, so I expect them to come out guns blazing for it. But
right.
other than that, like nothing really stood out in my opinion. So
I'll
at
match
least when
you.
I watched that brief one time against Long Beach State.
I'll match you, man. I'll take Miami. I'll take them as well. Next up, though, I'm gonna go with Auburn, the stronger team as well. Auburn's a solid team this year, but I do not think they will make a deep run. However, um, that's all I'll say about that. I guess let's go back up to the West and advance people into the Sweet 16. Want to do it that way?
Um, wait, sorry, I have Auburn too. But yeah, let's go back to the top to the West and Gonzaga.
Perfect. Gonzaga beats Memphis and goes to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I have them beating Gonzaga or losing to Gonzaga, Boise
Yeah.
State.
Yeah, you had Boise State moving on. I think either way, whoever wins that Boise State Memphis game, Gonzaga will beat them. And that's that. You had we both had you had New Mexico, right? Beating UConn.
Yes.
Oh, so that makes it a totally different bracket for us. I have UConn
So
versus
I have Vermont versus New Mexico State.
yeah, you picked both upsets there. I have UConn versus Arkansas. I'll give my pick on that real quick. Actually, do you know yours? Because I
I
might
got
know.
Vermont. I think that the fact that they're a very efficient team and they rebound well, I think that's going to really help them a lot. And I think honestly, we'll see when we come back here if I have Gonzaga even coming out of the Sweet 16.
I'm gonna go Arkansas. They've been a little hot recently, so I'm gonna go Arkansas, making it to the Sweet 16, but not going any further than that. I don't think they will. Anyway, next up, we both had Alabama and we both had Texas Tech, I believe.
Yes.
That one is also easy for me. Texas Tech is just such a strong team. They're moving on, regardless. Even if Rutgers or Notre Dame beats Alabama, I think Texas Tech is a lock for the Sweet 16 at least.
All right.
Next
Me
up,
too.
Davidson versus Duke.
I think I got Duke at least coming out against Davidson.
I do too. Yeah. I got Duke going to the Sweet 16, but you'll see who that matches them up with. And I have an opinion on that. So, yeah, Gonzaga, Arkansas for me, and Texas Tech Duke are in the Sweet 16. You got Gonzaga, Vermont, and Texas Tech Duke. So now we're moving on to the East, where we have Baylor and UNC facing off in the second round.
This is a tough one.
It is a tough one.
I think Baylor wins though.
Yeah, I think Baylor wins easy. It's going to be a great game, but I don't think UNC will beat Baylor. I just don't think they will. Next up, we both picked Indiana, right? And UCLA.
Yes, I'm going UCLA.
I'm going UCLA as well. Next up, that hot team, Virginia Tech, taking on Purdue. Purdue will be favored. I'm going Virginia Tech. They're going to Sweet 16.
Me too.
They're
I'm going the same way.
Yep.
Same way here.
I'm glad we agree on that. Next up, a hot Murray State team takes on who is that? Kentucky. Sorry, drew a blank there. And
I think Kentucky's the veteran team here.
I think Kentucky,
at least with the coach.
Yeah, exactly. We're testing our luck with the upset already with Virginia Tech. So
yes,
we'll go with the easy choice there with Kentucky. Moving on now to the South, Arizona TCU in the second round matchup. I think that'll be a great game as well.
I think I'm going Arizona though.
Yeah, but Arizona moves on. It's just these one seeds are so hard to knock out here. Illinois versus Houston, I have, and you have UAB versus Illinois.
This is where I go Illinois, and the dream ends for
Right.
the Blazers, which has a
You
cool
you had them
dragon on
taking
it.
on a different opponent, but we ended up the same way. I have Illinois moving on as well. So we both have Illinois making the Sweet 16, regardless of who they face. Next up, a hot Tennessee team takes on Michigan. I'm going Tennessee. They look great recently. They're
Yeah, Tennessee too. I mean, Michigan's just kind of been struggling since the beginning of the season.
correct. And same with Villanova. It's just too strong of a team for me as well. I don't think OSU can pull out the upset there.
No, me neither.
That makes that easy. Moving on to the Midwest now. Kansas, number 1, taking on San Diego State. I think it'll be fun for San Diego to make it to the second round, but Kansas will stop them in their tracks.
I got San Diego State.
All right.
I'm going with my impulse.
Okay.
I'm saying I said that San Diego has nice runs in tournaments, and this is gonna be as far as they come.
We'll see. That'd be crazy if they make it to the Sweet 16 beating Kansas. They'd have to.
Yes, I would look like a mad genius if this happened.
Would totally. All right. I got Kansas though. Next, Richmond versus Providence for me.
I feel like that's going to be a really good game.
I think it will too. I'm going to go Providence though.
All right. I'm going to read this real quick and see which way I would go because.
Which also you could have Iowa taking on Providence there as well if you don't go Richmond. And that might be a better contest for Providence, but it's
they're both very evenly matched too.
Might go
and they got a late bid steal into the tournament.
Dude, go with the Spiders, man. Do it.
No, there's a lot of money here. I'm gonna go with
money on the line for you though, not for me.
All right. Iowa State, Wisconsin. I'm going with the Badgers here.
Got him. Okay.
And then I got Auburn coming out against Miami.
I'm still struggling with the Wisconsin Iowa State. I want to go an upset here. I want Iowa State. I think I'll go with my gut. I'll take them. I'll take Iowa State and I'll take Auburn moving on as well. Let's go back up again to the West and let's go ahead and put these teams into the Elite Eight. Gonzaga versus Arkansas for me, and you have Gonzaga versus Vermont.
Yep.
Okay, that should be an even easier decision for you. Gonzaga moves on for me still against Arkansas. Don't tell me with money on the line you're taking Vermont over Gonzaga.
Gonzaga getting out in the 16th, Sweet 16, and it's not going to be so sweet because Vermont is going into the Elite Eight
with money
as
on
one
the
of the
line.
Cinderella story. I don't care. I love Chet Holmgren, but you know what? There's more things at stake.
Like you like your own money. Anyway, Texas Tech versus Duke. This is when Duke gets eliminated, in my opinion. I think Texas Tech moves on and faces Gonzaga in the Elite Eight.
I agree.
Duke will.
I agree.
Yeah, Duke will end in the Sweet 16. I think they'll face Texas Tech, and it'll be too strong. They've lost some big games. Like for that team, the pressure is just so much for them this year.
Yeah, I think it's insurmountable. And if they win this year,
man,
there's just too much pressure. And I think if they win this year, it's going to be one of the biggest Cinderella stories of all time.
Yeah,
they're not necessarily the greatest team, but they go out and put the best coach in history out in the best way.
Yeah, that would be crazy if they do.
Literally a Disney movie, if that happens.
Yeah. We'll go
down. The Rock is going to play that young kid that's going to come out in the draft. I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Paola something. But you should see him. He's big as heck.
Okay, next up in the East, we have Baylor versus UCLA. That will be an awesome game. I definitely hope that does happen. I'd love to watch that game. Do you have any info? Have they matched up against each other this season? Baylor and UCLA.
Baylor and UCLA. Not that I'm aware of. I think Baylor's the better team though.
I think they are too.
And UCLA had a sweet Cinderella story last year, but I think it ends here again.
Yeah, I think Baylor will move on to the Elite Eight.
Now we both got Virginia Tech, Kentucky. Are you going with the upset here? I'm going with the upset.
I think I
Just
might.
because this team is probably the hottest team in college basketball right now.
They are.
But you know what? I think that might come with pressure too, because they might cool off.
It might, yeah. They might. I mean, they might crumble.
So I might change. It might go Kentucky for me.
You might, yeah. You might finally make it to the Sweet 16, and then you face Kentucky, and it's like, all right, well, here you go. But if you're gonna go to Kentucky, I'm gonna go Virginia Tech then.
All right.
I'm gonna take them. So yeah. Now we're gonna go to the South. Arizona versus Illinois. Is that what you have as well? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going Arizona.
I'm going Arizona as well. Yeah, all day Arizona. And then Tennessee versus Villanova.
Now that's an interesting matchup.
That's tough for me. I don't know. I've been high on Tennessee. Villanova, I'm not too keen on. I don't know much about them. Maybe just because of that, I'll go Tennessee. I'll go with my gut. I think I'll put Tennessee in the Elite Eight.
And they did get bounced out last year very early, so I think they'll have something to prove. I'm going Tennessee.
Yeah, let's put Tennessee in the Elite Eight. So that means in the West and the South, we have the 1 seed and the 3 seed taking on each other.
Absolutely not. In the West, I got Gonzaga coming out.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
I got Vermont, baby. That's the Cinderella story of the night.
I forgot. That's my bracket. Yeah, I shouldn't talk for you.
Yes.
Next up, I have Kansas versus Providence. You have San Diego State versus Providence. Okay. I think
I got San Diego advancing.
Okay. You have San Diego beating Providence. It's tough to bet against the 1 seed, but Providence might be able to pull it off here. I don't know. I'll take it safe. I'll go Kansas. Kansas is going to beat Providence. I'll play it safe. Next up, I have Iowa State and Auburn.
And I have Auburn coming out of that one.
You have Wisconsin and Auburn, right?
Yes. And I have Auburn coming out. War Eagle all day.
I don't think Auburn's a strong enough team. I think Iowa State's going to move on to the Elite Eight.
That's your upset right there.
Kansas versus Iowa State. So in my bracket, actually, it's very interesting. I know it's not yours, but in mine, the West and the South are the 1 and the 3 seed in the Elite Eight, and the East and the Midwest are the 1 and the 11 seed. Both of them. It turned out that way for me.
So for me, I got in the East the 1 and the 2 seed, in the Midwest at the 2 and the 8, and then out West I have the 2 and the 3, the 1 and the 13. Oh yeah, no, 13 and 3, and the 1 and 3. Sorry, I got mixed up. So 13 and 3, 1 and 3.
Well, now let's go up to the West. I have a lot tougher of a call here than you do, I think. What do you have? So you have
Vermont versus Texas Tech, and I think this is where the Cinderella story dies.
Yeah, you have Vermont versus Texas Tech, which is much easier to choose, in my opinion. I think Texas Tech would definitely move on in your bracket, but Gonzaga versus Texas Tech, oh, it's tough for me. I don't know, man. Shoot. Do I go Texas Tech?
Well, I'm not going. I already got Gonzaga out already, so.
Yeah, you put Gonzaga out really early. I think I'm gonna go Gonzaga. Yeah, I got Gonzaga over Texas Tech. In the East, I have Baylor versus Virginia Tech. You have Baylor versus Kentucky, right?
Yeah, I think this is my 1 seed that goes to the dance.
Me too. Yeah, I think I had Virginia Tech going all the way to the Elite Eight. I don't think they go further than that, though. Unfortunately, I think Baylor, again, defending champion, Baylor moves on, and that sets up a one seed versus another 1 seed in the West and the East for me. Gonzaga versus Baylor. Now South, Arizona versus Tennessee is what I have. So what you have as well?
Yeah. And I think I'm going to go with Arizona just because this is tough, but I think first year coach Tommy Lloyd definitely has a great team, and they have a very deep one. So I think he's going to depend on every guy to come out and play big. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Arizona coming out. So that makes
I'm gonna go
two
with
ones
Arizona
for
as
me.
well. I have three, and you know what? I'm getting kind of uncomfortable having 3 1 seeds. Can I switch my Gonzaga Texas Tech?
I would.
I'm doing that. I'm switching that. Texas Tech beats Gonzaga in the Elite Eight, and Texas Tech moves on. Because the problem is now here in the Midwest, I have the 1 seed in Kansas taking on Iowa State.
Big one.
Yeah, and I don't know if Iowa State. It's a big run for them to make it to the Elite Eight, but I don't know if they're going to be able to beat Kansas and take them all the way. That's tough. Who do you got?
For Kansas and Iowa State?
You have Kansas and Auburn, no?
No, I have Auburn and San Diego State. And this is where I think
You had San Diego going all the way.
yeah, and I think this is where San Diego loses to Auburn and the dream dies. And now I have 2 1s, a 2 and a 3.
I got Kansas moving on. Yeah, setting up the one and I have 3 1 seeds and 1 3 seed. Obviously, I want pretty high seeds. That's risky to do, even in it's tough to do. But the teams are just great this year, and I even could have went all 1 seeds, to be honest with you. Gonzaga very well could beat Texas Tech in my bracket.
Yeah, anything can happen in this game.
Virginia Tech could beat Baylor, to be honest, since they're such a hot team. I had them facing each other in the Elite Eight. That could be one where they do beat them, but I don't think they will. I think Baylor's too tough of a team, defending champs. Now we have the Final Four in New Orleans, and who is going to the championship game, Caesar?
I got Baylor. I think Baylor repeats this year.
You do?
Yeah.
That's funny because when I filled out brackets earlier, I have Baylor repeating as well.
Yeah, I do.
It hasn't been done since 08 or 09.
Since Miami, not Miami, since
Florida.
The Florida team. Yeah, with Billy Donovan.
I have Baylor moving on as well. I think they'll beat Texas Tech, and then I have Arizona moving on.
Yep, me too.
My championship game is Baylor versus Arizona.
I think it's going to be like 76 Baylor to like 65 Arizona.
I got Baylor beating Arizona. I think Arizona very well could win though, and I think it's either Arizona or Gonzaga though that is the highest picked to win in the tournament for fan brackets. ESPN posted a thing the other day. It's like I can't remember if it was Arizona or Gonzaga. I think it was Arizona actually that are the highest picked. But I got a score of 68 to 65, 3-point victory there for Baylor.
So we both had very different brackets.
Very different.
But ultimately the same outcome for the final.
Yeah, the same outcome. So it's tough to bet on repeats, man. When you got a team repeating with the odds of them to even win it and then even repeat is very tough in college basketball. But I don't know. I think Baylor might be able to do it this year, and it'd be fun if they do.
Yeah, I think Baylor has a big opportunity too. But we'll see. This is why I love college basketball, because obviously I come into it with no fucking knowledge of the game.
You never know,
who's
man.
Playing who. But you know what? That's the fun part about picking, because when you don't know and you pick them, you feel like a genius because you didn't know shit.
And guess what? We could have some of these 16 seeds beat, like Texas Southern. They're hot right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing about
Kansas in the first game.
Yeah.
So we have no clue.
And the thing is, like, the pressure amounts for every team, because I guess I don't know if this still stands true, but no one in history has come out a 16 team and beat a first seed, right? Has anyone ever done it?
I don't think so. Let's see. I can look that up real quick. And that is
only once.
UMBC beat Virginia.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And you know what? And irregardless, though, it's only happened one time. And the pressure of losing as a first seed in a 16 to a 16 seed. And nowadays, basketball, there's so many more talented players out there. The NBA is deep with talent. Even in Europe and other countries, there's so many talented players nowadays. And I think that definitely stands true in college. There's so many great players nowadays, so many skilled ones.
I agree. So
It'll
yeah,
be
we
fun.
both have Baylor repeating this year. I didn't expect to both of us pick the same winner, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
We
me
didn't talk
neither.
about who we had actually before we did this video, but
Yeah, that's the
I
fun
did
part.
pick Baylor a few days ago when I filled out my bracket on my
This is
phone.
my first bracket
So
and my only bracket, and I hope it wins me a pool of $35 between 7 people.
we'll see how that works out for you, man. I hope you win some money.
Peak of time.
So yeah, we both got Baylor. Obviously, pretty much everybody that watches this video will have a different opinion than us, because I mean it's the nature of the game. So let us know who you got in the championship game, and let us know who you got winning. If you want to write the score as well, just flash that genius. See if you can get it right, man. Let us
And
know.
show us your bracket. Show us your final four, or however many you can fit in the comment section.
Yeah. Tell us the final four, or if you just want
Or
championship
who your
game,
upsets
winner.
are. Just
Right.
leave some
Yeah.
comments, man.
We both have Virginia Tech running deep. I think they will. I think they'll run deep.
I got Vermont running deep. I just
You
believe in
do.
that story, man. I just think
You
what
do.
I read in that Yahoo thing convinced me enough
Yeah.
last night, because that's as far as I got. But I was
Yeah.
just like, a good defensive rebounding team
It's
with
also unfortunate. I remember that TCU, they would run deep if they didn't meet Arizona in the second round. Unfortunately, I think TCU would run deep
yeah.
if they were able to have a different
I
seed.
just believe that they'll come out though, and they'll play, and they play very efficiently offensively.
Mhm.
According to the Yahoo report, they don't miss. So if they don't miss and they come in hot, a lot of teams are going to be nervous playing them,
Yeah,
especially if they run deep.
exactly. So yeah, that's our picks, man. We both got Baylor. Thank you for watching, everybody. We got some more videos coming out very soon, and March Madness is upon us. We're all excited. Maybe we'll probably make a video maybe for the championship game, like a review of that or something. I'm sure something. We'll do something again for March Madness, but that's it for now. Any last words you want to say?
Go Catamounts. I guess that's what the Vermont team is called.
All right. That's your dark horse Cinderella story. I don't really have much of a Cinderella story. I guess Virginia Tech making the Elite Eight is a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
It'll end there. So that's everything we got for you guys today. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in March Madness. Enjoy. Peace.